You incorporate chess into your art, and what made you start doing that, and do you feel that that enhances the art?
An obsession with Marcel Duchamp started happening into my artwork, and the two really kind of worked well together as almost like a feedback loop of it influenced my work, and then working off of the ideas of the different moves and just the characters. So they would appear in the drawings and sculptures. At the moment, my favorite piece is the Knight, just because it's I get to draw a horse.
You know, we had a
That's a terrible answer.
We had a live chess game outside here a couple of years ago, and the chess players were the pieces.
Oh yeah.
And Gadakomsky, many-time U.S. champion, said, "I want to be the Knight because I just want to hop around."
Yeah, exactly.
So the Knight was his favorite piece also.
and also the way it moves. It's like the only piece that jumps over other characters.
And I think the Knight is the characteristic piece of different chess sets. When you look at different sets, everybody looks at the Knight first because you can make it different ways.
Yeah.
The other pieces are sort of uniform. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I made a few chess sets, and that's the piece I get most excited about, and usually change the most drastically, because I think I've done like 3 of them, and it's usually the one.
It's good because even though the bishop and the knight are worth about the same, kids all like the knight better.
Right.
So I think a lot of people in the general public think that chess is very scientific, and whenever I'm watching basketball or football on TV, they say it turned into a chess match whenever there's thinking involved and deep strategical play. But I think there's a lot of art in chess, and I think being creative and causing problems for your opponent and thinking differently than other people is what separates a lot of the great chess players. And I think that's what makes the famous champions like Kasparov and even Morphy and Carlsen and Karpov, that they play differently than just the typical strong grandmaster and did things that weren't necessarily the most normal.
At the very beginning, you almost don't have your own voice. You're kind of riffing off of different artists that you admire, or not even artists. Sometimes you're like a book you read or like a movie. So there's you need some influence to the very beginning of kind of finding my own voice was I was in university working on my thesis year in painting, and I was still living with my parents at the time, and we had a house fire, and all of my backlog of art was just destroyed, and I was doing kind of these larger canvas paintings, and the insurance company put us up in a small hotel near the airport, and I had this stationery that I just started doing drawings on, and for my thesis I just had all of these little drawings as my piece, and I kind of found that the intimacy in them kind of felt like I'd found something, or found my own voice.
Are you saying the fire was serendipitous? That was a good thing?
Yeah, that's kind of this.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was some sort of like Phoenix story. I was also in this art group called the Royal Art Lodge around that time, and we would start a drawing, someone would start it, and then we'd pass it on, and it was kind of this authorless style of drawing, and it kind of opened me up to all sorts of different styles.
And they would like erase what you did and write over
exactly.
it.
Just paint over top.
No, we have something in chess that's sort of similar. It's called a tandem simultaneous, where a normal simultaneous is one person plays many people at once. But if you want to make it interesting, you have 2 strong players do it, and like I'll make move 1, and the other strong player will make move 2, and I'll make move 3. Oh, wow. And there's many famous instances where like Grandmaster A plays a move, Grandmaster B doesn't know like what's happening. He gets to the board, he retreats, he makes another. He takes that move back. I don't like that move. Yeah. So you have to be funny in the art. If no, I don't. No,
it did happen a few times.
Better.
You kind of butt heads.
So this creating order out of chaos, which in chess I think most people are trying to do, and I think for beginners. And novice players, the board is chaos to them, and the more pieces that are traded, they're like, okay, good, now I can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, the famous world champion, Mikhail Tal from Latvia, he said the opposite. He said the goal of chess is basically to confuse your opponent.
Yeah.
And he said it much more eloquently than I did. He actually, it was really cool what he said. But making the game basically total chaos so your opponent can't play well.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of total chaos, sometimes when I'm here, in the Hall of Fame, it seems like some of the work is total chaos, and I think that's what the artist is going for, because there's just so much going on. Does this happen in the art world also? You want order or chaos?
Yeah. Well, I was finding because I used to live in Winnipeg, Canada, and a lot of my drawings were just like single image, just single figures or two figures, kind of on a white sheet of paper, and just interacting and doing something strange or whatever. And I found once I moved to New York, they became very claustrophobic, and there was these characters everywhere. And the way I kind of found a little bit of order in those was I decided to make I thought they were like almost like musicals or stage performances. So after that, it became like more of like this grandiose opera or something like that. So I guess I'm an order person. Though I do find that my films are more chaos, so I guess I work with both.
Chess is a lot of things, and people say, is it a science or an art or a sport? And I think it's all of them. And I think if you want to be the best and you want to improve, that you have to take each part and incorporate it into your game. And I think art is the most challenging. I mean, people are competitive and, but when they're playing chess, if all they see is black and white and all they see is the one variation and they can't create chaos out of order, then they're not going to outthink their opponent. They're just going to think the same way. And this way, with using your artful skills of making order, making chaos. In fact, when it is chaotic and you have a winning position, you want to make it more orderly. So I think figuring out which way you want to do it in the game, that's an art in itself.